Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Killer 7. So let's see, let's move the mouse out of the way while the subscription. I'm not sure why I really paused the game on the map here instead of just pausing the game on the pause screen, but that's what I ended up doing, so let's go forward. We're in this kind of puzzly town. Let's see.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Let's go and hit that Camilla Smiles and get a bunch of thick blood. There's something that occurred to me here in that I don't know if having like your thin blood at 20 might get you more thick blood. I don't know if having your health at maximum might get you more thick blood. We do kind of know combos will get you more thick blood, but I don't know if criticals will get you more thick blood. So there is a possibility here that had I just gotten criticals this whole time, like, that would have led to, let's go this way, like that may very well have led to more.
Hurts, doesn't it?
What in the world just killed me? I guess the laser just killed me. Maybe my health was really low? I've slept since the last recording, but I was getting fairly frustrated with the repeated audio puzzle where you were trying to figure out the way. Right. Like, how in the world you're gonna... How in the world are you gonna avoid that, for instance? And this guy only has the vision ring, so that kind of highlights a situation where and I guess he has a ground attack ability.
Look, I'm a cleaner.
I'm assuming the animation there is never different when we resurrect Kade, because we've seen it a couple times. Like,
Hurts, doesn't it?
like, I don't think it's worth it to really take on extra enemies. Like, or really try and grind out. Like, we have the fire ring right now, we should have the stamina ring on, I'm guessing. But yeah, it definitely highlights how there's just some weirdness here. Yeah, that laser just did a massive amount of one-hit damage to me.
Hurts, doesn't it?
And then after the laser fired, it seemed like it just kind of disappeared. So I wonder if maybe it would have been better to come from the other direction. This is it. Look what I found. Discovered by bickering lovers. Discarded by bickering lovers. Love can shatter like glass. Use this at the artist's mansion. I feel like this whole level, this is a job for the thief in the name of Harman. It does just kind of feel like this whole level might be some kind of weird criticism on either comic book artists or anime artists or manga artists. Although I don't know whether the criticism really is on the artist so much as it might just be on the it might very well just be a criticism on the industry more than the artist. Alright. There's weirdness abound here, so what I think I want to do is probably come over here. Yep. And then it wants us to do Coyote and use his ability to jump up here. The eagle has landed on the roof is a reference to the moon. Yeah, it almost feels like it would have been a good position to be up here to shoot the enemies that were down at the bottom, but that's not true. Straight up, this is a pain man running around for some freaking color samples. What makes it worse, the town is a mess, and that's what makes it worse. Have you heard about the devil shortcut? What is the street is that next to the door to the artist is the entrance to a labyrinth. Light the lamp, then the shortcut is revealed. Is that spooky enough for you? Would you light the lamp? We did see a lamp earlier. So we're getting a hint. Just make sure we're relatively safe. Looking at the map, it seems like there's probably a lot more to go, and that this is a complicated mix. So yeah, this I think unlocks this door. So we now have a shorter shortcut. And that takes us
fucked.
It does become questionable whether there really is any value in having that shortcut to go all the way back to the beginning of the level.
You're fucked.
I should probably just be playing this card again.
You're fucked.
We'll just switch back to Kade and we'll walk here. Apparently we're doing nothing as far as this gate, which I guess these are supposed to be connected to the gate, but they really just look like floating unfinished textures. If anything, this feels like this is the yeah, this seems like this might be just the middle point of the game, a place where we would fight somebody and then move forward to the second part. Maybe this is a case where this means the game isn't going to try to break this level up into 2 parts. Instead, it's just going to be one big city part.
Hurts, doesn't it? Hurts, doesn't it?
Yep. It's still a very weird system, I would say. That you're just like scan, 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 trying to get that critical shot.
Hurts, doesn't it? Hurts, doesn't it?
Yep, this is like the first time where the critical actually feels like it might be really helpful. But it is also not still that helpful. I got this from a nun. She had quite a record, I must say. A kid left it behind after confession. Personally, Master is my only god. Use it at the artist's mansion. They keep talking about the artist's mansion without showing the artist's mansion. It would have made more sense if we had seen a flyover or a picture or a map saying we need to get to the artist's mansion. This doesn't really look like there's a picture here. If it is a picture, it's some kind of like sea picture. It does seem to me, though, if I was to guess, you could turn to Master Smith here, since we're seeing cracks in this window, and blow that up. But no such luck. I need to get to save rooms. It's getting down to the point where you have to turn in all of your thick blood into a serum very quickly. Okay, if we go to the right, that's probably the right way, so we should go to the left first. Let's see where this corridor leads. Like that corridor, I would have thought would have led this is confusing, to say the least. Like, because neither one of these is... let's just go forward. Everything seems all spent... like... Right, we need to be Master Smith, and then we also need to... You can see the game kind of pauses there. Oh, good. Get our health back up. We've got a lamp here. Strange flame indeed. That is lit. See, the thing here is we still don't really have any way to carry anything. Carry a flame. This is it. Look what I found. Discarded by a flustered assistant director. He clashed violently with the real director. Differences of nuance can destroy relationships. Use it at the artist's mansion. The neighbor farming. If anything, going down the wrong way and just trying to work your way around is a bad way to play this game, because going the wrong way definitely ends up causing you to fight more enemies. Alright, well, let's see if we can use the fire ring, which would make some sense. Okay. So did I just make a shortcut to the way I'm supposed to go, or did I just make a shortcut to Harm's room? Well, I am lost, almost certainly, as far as the save spot, so let's just take the shortcut, I guess. This very possibly is the same back connecting part that we saw in the rest of the game. Alright, we're back to the flat 2D animations. The blurry flat 2D.
Sometimes it engulfs us, keeping us warm.
So here you have an actual flat anime 2D kid.
You shall be king, traveler.
Even though it's the voice of an old man. Just make sure we're doing everything as safely as possible. I can't help but feel like what probably happened here was, in the previous level, there was just a desire to say that there were orphans being kidnapped and they're harvested organs, or that there was a creepy old guy doing creepy things there, and then they wanted to back off of that once they got to the end and showed the machine and showed hanging bodies and say, well, these are orphans, but they look like 18-year-olds. Alright, this is not going to work well for us. Let's just play as Dan and use our power shot. Right. I think Dan probably does enough damage here to justify sticking with him, whereas otherwise there might be a slight argument to move the Kade over this. I think we're gonna have to just move a little bit further. So we're trying to get a little bit closer. Now I do see a shot there. So that was just a whole room of a egg generator. I just have like no idea where I even am at this point. It seems like we missed an entire point in which I could save. The save spots as far as Samantha though don't actually look any different, so I'm not super upset by that idea. It's much more interesting to potentially see the different poses of Samantha in the non-save spots. We needed definitely to find one of the previous two checkpoints, however. That would have been a nightmare scenario if we were just skipping all of them and not creating serum. Although on a New Game Plus scenario, you probably are going to have most of your characters at a fairly high level. So I guess the question would come down to, do we want to upgrade this, which we don't have enough serum for, or are we still just trying to get everything up to 3? I think getting everything up to 3 makes a lot of sense. Just because that probably unlocks most of the abilities without unlocking the critical lock. But everything is now at 3, so it would be more of an experiment now. Do I want to get Dan with his higher level of health up to 5 to get his critical lock, or do I want to experiment with Kade and get her up to 5 on everything and see if that does something? I think I probably would want to go with Kade and just make sure that there's not some extra thing that unlocks. It's not even anything new to see. Right. And we have hallway this way with Travis in it. Interesting. He's wearing a suit. This isn't right, is it? Is it right for time to march on like this? We all know the guy owes his success to his representative's fiance. He doesn't have the skill to make it on his own, thank you. Straight up, he put an angle on a comic, and the same poop goes down in the real 3D dimensional world. This guy's a seer, man. No surprise, he's a little egoist. Oh yeah, I forgot that's why we were even attacking him. He thinks the world is put in his hand, but then you never piss off your reps. They'll cut your pay. And in his case, they sent an assassin after him. Oh, I get it. That's where you come in, huh, Chief? It all makes too much damn sense. Alright, so there's nothing more in that direction, even though it seems like there should be something more in that direction. Is this the direction we came in? Grand staircase, that's new. Yeah, I had kind of just like totally forgotten about why we were even shooting this guy. Seems like it's rolling the other direction. Okay, so we went through one area and we're now in a different area, and it is hard to keep an eye on like just like 4 of those in a row. It's hard to figure out these maps. And there's definitely a contrast here compared to Olmeda, where in Olmeda there was a lot of enemies, but they weren't particularly like difficult enemies because most of them didn't even attack you. Like almost certainly if you're going to remake this game, you would just have one big city that had wider alleyways at the very least. Okay. So where are we? Let's go this way. It feels like they're really having to manipulate the spin on that. So one way goes up the stairs, another way curves around. Let's just go this way. Yeah, without that critical lock, it still seems like it kind of locks on enemies. It just doesn't lock specifically on the critical parts of enemies. Well, it seems like this would lead to another alley. This leads to another lamp. Strange flame indeed. I wonder if I'm supposed to, like, use the wind ring or if I'm supposed to use the water ring. Or if it is just a case where these flames possibly are pointing to shortcuts that this would have unlocked in other directions, and that they're like one-way directions. Like, I had the fire flame on to start with, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense that the stamina ring or the power ring would do anything. So yeah, I'm mostly gonna have to assume that these are one-way exits. Right. I'm just gonna pick a door. Just figure out what this is doing. Yeah, that apparently got us in the artist studio. Let's get us a little closer. Yeah, let's just go get a little closer.
This is too easy.
Okay, so going through this door tells me that we were either... like the yellow one that is blinking right now seems like that's where we are now, which would imply to me that we were at the bottom part there. And yet there's a whole save spot we apparently missed. Whatever. Like we're definitely getting really lost here. Does the game know actively where the closest Harm's room is, or does it take you potentially back to the last one you walked into? Wouldn't be 100% surprised if we have it break down too. And we can't actively make enough serum in this level to fully unlock Kade. Traces of destruction. Alright, well then let's try the time ring. The time ring howls because obviously there's a clock there. And that's going to fix this. This really may be the first time too where getting the odd engravings really starts to play a more video game like role, in the sense that oh, he is that guy. You are actually potentially having to run around and look for things that are out of the way instead of just being on the main path. All dogs should keep their mouths shut. I'll keep this short. The day I was killed by you, my long-awaited wish was granted. Those so-called heroes are fakes. Don't be fooled by their trickery. You're being sucked in by a fantasy. The world of illusions bred by a madman. Hell, what'd you expect from a comic book hero? See you in hell. See, we know Curtis is bad, and so it's weird to kind of realize that all of your hints and help of all these characters are from people you killed. Bad people. Yeah. Oh, it's a world of illusion in the sense that it's a painted backdrop. Interesting, is there something there? So, yeah, I definitely feel like the Japanese version of this would have said Sentai Power Ranger type characters, and they probably don't have the rights to say Power Ranger. I'm gonna have to place Kade here. Need that distance so I can get hopefully a scan. It seems like when this guy starts walking, he actually stops throwing. I need to refill my health. Part of the problem though with seeing like this fake background like is that all the backgrounds are fake and there really is just not that much difference. Seems like you can't hit the ground attacks of the rollers. Like, so if this is supposed to be a fake painted background, it really doesn't look much different than what this is supposed to be a real foreground. Master, this is it. Look at what I found. Today the windmills stand still. A day of calm. A day of despair. If only we had that ring. Then the door would open. Use it at the artist's mansion. The name of Harman. So we need the wind ring, but we need to use it at the artist's mansion, which man, we definitely are getting back to one of these scenarios where you're just potentially going to die. And yeah, we are now in a foyer section. So let's see. Let's item stamina ring.
Hurts, doesn't it? Hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah, his yellow belly here for this spawner just doesn't feel like that's really critical.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Come on. Really does just kind of start to feel less and less. Am I going the right way? Nope. Camera's all backwards. Seems like it just loves to do this, particularly on Kaede. I don't know if it's really a glitch or if it's just a feature. Something spawned right next to me, but we could just run past that. It definitely is not a safe glitch. Okay. And I was definitely trusting the audio click there. A lot.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Okay, we are here. And I'm a little confused as to where we went, but I guess we're going this way. I guess we're... Nope, we're not going this way. Guess we're going this way. And I guess we're going this way. Yeah. If anything, I guess what they've done here... Interesting, he painted the guy. I guess what we're doing here is we're spreading out wider than tall as far as how the map is designed, in that some of these areas are spread out left and right, not part of the main path of up and down from the beginning to the end. We'll just stick with this guy. So it's like a hint, basically, that you're going to get another color piece if you blow this up, showing he's seen it happening. Master, this is it. Look what I found. I beat out a hairy-chested model for the job as subject for a painting, and this was my payment. Master, stop it. You mustn't move an inch. The scene is nothing without me. Use it as at the artist's mansion in the name of Harman. So there's an artist studio and there's an artist mansion. Didn't they say we needed the ring, the wind ring? So are we supposed to do the wind ring howling at this painting? So we needed to go there, yes. But it does kind of feel like the instructions are a little unclear because the wind ring didn't do anything. Maybe we'll have to get back to that area later. I'm still not 100% sure I've been in every room in every place on this map. But you know, instead of agonizing over it, why don't we just work our way forward? Let's see. Is there any way to take out these guys? Like, yeah, it really doesn't feel like Mask Day Smith can take those guys out. Thing seems very much like you need Kade. We might be getting to another situation where we're gonna run low on the thin blood. Although we may not be in that situation really either, because like, even when you have weak weapons like Kade has, you can have the stamina ring equipped, and so I'm guessing what happens is we're supposed to round out into like this point, and then that will start the fans spinning, and then that will do something, the windmill spinning. By the looks of it, it does seem like even after this foyer, though, there would be at least one more area, one more boss fight type area, although in all fairness, I guess boss fight areas may not even be marked on the map. We may just not be collecting any soul cells, soul shells. Let's see, straight up this sucks butt. Pissing me off, I tell you. There are 9 sample colors in total. All these handsome colors. Match the requested doors and the doors open. Or the requested colors and the doors open. It'll be a search if you collect all the color samples. I heard the artist has a soft spot for comic lovers. If you knew the assignment of the handsome colors, you'd have a nice shot at getting invited to dinner. If you're gonna kill him, you'll do some stealing. So, kind of feels like the game is telling me now, of all places, that this is the point where you would have potentially been told you've got to collect all the colors. Like, where? Like, if we were to come over here and do wind ring. Yeah, that doesn't do anything talking to Travis there. we don't have, I think, anything more to read here. It's making coming into these areas a lot easier. That doesn't quite put us high enough to do anything. Like, yes, we could
Wait here.
we could try and skill up 2 skills on Dan to get him to level 4, but he's not getting that critical lock until level 5, and it just makes a lot more sense to just continuously save here. More than likely, I should probably increase the target, the waiver, instead of the speed. Yes, it might be nice if I could shoot a little bit faster, but since all guns have a reload animation, and that reload animation isn't going away, like isn't likely to go away, the faster your empty clip is just the faster that you would potentially have to see the reload animation again. Okay. We are still on encounter? No. I don't think we are in encounter. I think we might be in something called ally, which I guess means we need to override this. Alter ego, not ally. And that points out that this is the first time I've saved, even though I've made a couple hours worth of progress in this game. Yeah. Yeah, I'm nearly at the end of this whole level, or at least Dominican level. If there's a part 2 that takes me to a different area, then okay, that's somewhat believable. But I also wouldn't be super surprised if there isn't a part 2 and they just wrap this up and try to rush to having exactly 7 assassin targets and 7 missions. Yeah, there's more that needs to be done, obviously, in this area. And then there's very likely another area. I don't know if we're really doing a lot, though, that I really like particularly enjoy at this point. It's getting a little repetitive, a little exhausting to run through these levels. The story is crazy, but the story isn't amazing. And there's definitely a lot of old anime type shows, and that's what I would compare this to, is old 90s anime shows that have like an interesting idea in the first couple episodes and then just become a monster of a week series that tries to stretch on, or they have like one good idea that's mediocrely implemented. Those are the kind of shows that people really wouldn't remember so much these days, even though those kinds of shows still definitely exist. That's kind of where this story feels like it's going. Even if there is a giant reveal around the Heavenly Smiles and Angel being behind all of these actions in like a direct puppet master instead of possibly just being a slight influencer, I don't know if that reveals that big of a deal. And we really haven't gotten quite enough backstory on all the characters. Having 7 different characters, you really needed to write a lot of backstory and a lot of characterization to each of these characters to make you kind of care about them. So if there was, say, a big reveal around, say, Khan, or Master Smith, or Kevin, like, those characters I just don't really care about. I care about Kaede because I played as her a lot, and because she's a female, and just a little bit more interesting to care about. and Dan seems like he was supposed to be the main focus as a character, so I kind of care about him and Harman himself, but I really don't care about Garcia. He seems like he's an unnecessary extra character. Like, it would be an interesting alternate reality version of this game if it was not body swapping so much as just regular personality swapping that was happening. But then that breaks the idea of having different guns and different abilities. But honestly, that's probably the way most games would have gone about this, is you would have had one main protagonist, and it would have just been like BioShock, where you have 4 to 7 different types of guns you can use in combat. And then that would have left you, comparing this game to BioShock, that would have left you in a situation where you have Andrew Ryan, you have the main protagonist of BioShock 1, and then you have like one other character that follows you throughout the story, and then there's 2 or 3 characters that you interact with in subsections and chapters of the story. And then you have the overall little sisters, who aren't really characters as much as just collectibles in the game. But yeah, the story, comparing this to like BioShock 1, by having really only 3 main characters, you allowed a lot more development of those 3 main characters. And you just don't have that here. Usually in games, the main protagonist is fairly silent protagonist anyways, so it's not like all games have great development of characters, but you're kind of making a bigger promise when you work around the idea of 7 multiple personalities. There's a movie that this is probably best compared to, and I don't think it's called Identity, but it might be. It's basically multiple personalities getting killed by like a stalker serial killer, like Freddy Krueger or Jason Voorhees type character, and you don't even see the serial killer actually in it. That's the big mystery, and it's all just happening in the head of a mental patient. And in the movie, probably at near the end of the first of 3 acts, they just straight up explain that to you and tell you that that's what's going on, when honestly that didn't contribute anything to the story in the movie at that point. It would have contributed much more as a bigger twist later on. So if this game said that everybody that we've hunted down and killed was also just a multiple personality, and we were just boiling it down to having 7 personalities instead of dozens of personalities, that might be an interesting twist. But it made a lot more sense in the movie, because the movie was live action and looked realistic until you had that giant break from reality, and or the established reality, and the movie just spoils itself. It's a decent movie that not that many people really liked, but I can't tell you the name of it. It's obviously not the movie 7, which that's a different movie and really doesn't have any connection to this. Anyways, I'm probably rambling on, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.